Welcome to another video on my RaspberryPi2 running Ubuntu Linux as well as the robot operating system. Last time I experienced some troubles with ROS, and more in particular, I don't get that camera completely set right. More in particular, an error that is unexplainable to me. So, a little recap. I started out with a robot ROS package, ROS robot operating system. And robot operating system depends on hardware as well as software, and software is middleware in this case. ROS depends on messaging topics in ROS lingo, and you can use standard messages but also define your own. And that is, with my own package, what I am trying to do. So my package is called robot_pi, robot_pi. I have a publisher and a subscriber. You have to have a publisher and at least a subscriber. The publisher just publishes messages, and it doesn't care at all who subscribes to it. It just publishes. The subscriber is a node that says, alright, well, you know, I subscribe to a message, and in this case it subscribes to the message that is published by this one. It went well for quite a while, until I decided, for sake of topics being displayed by echo, that something went wrong, very wrong in fact. Now the point is that if you have a package, it is very much advisable, it turns out, not to name the message or messages like the package name. That is what my first mistake was. Well, it was what my mistake was. Then apparently too simple thought I had, them renamed. Too simple thought, because I had the same problem. It looked too much like robot_pi. Then I made message robot_pi, which as start does not look like robot, because message is not a robot, and I made two of them. Now the problem is, and let me run this one. I get this error, no one renamed. Now that would be logical, because here I import it using Python, and in this one I import them as well, but rosmsg says, sure, I know it, right here. And you have another one, well, I have to ask for it. Yes, I know it, it's here. And if I do package, then it says, alright, you have a package and it has two messages, being message robot_pi and message robot_pi2. And I have found on searched the internet, and although this message is not uncommon, my situation nobody has yet responded to. So that's a bummer. what I want to do is search and try further, but I want to end this segment by something I thought to draw using open source electronics editing, and this is GPL, General Public License, Electronic Data Editing, Design Automation, excuse me. So, with this I have drawn whatever you can see, well, most of what you can see here, so, which is a photo-transistor, and in this case I should actually correct this a little bit, because it is a fischertechnik photo-transistor. And then a voltage divider, because the voltage delivered by this photo-transistor is too high to put directly on the GPIO, and I already destroyed pin 16 with it. So a voltage divider, and I get a nice voltage. Then to drive a nice LED and to connect a signal from here to an LED, I have a make button with a resistor to the mass, to the ground, and one resistor in front of the GPIO, and that gives a signal. Now software makes sure that a not yet drawn LED will run. So that is for now the schematics, and now for some more testing. Since I am not getting any wiser from the tutorials, and according to the tutorials I've done anything and everything right, I'm just gonna play with it. This should be alright. So I have cd'd to catkin_ws, that is standard. Then source devel/setup.bash, also standard. rosrun. So it looks into the directory. Now what if I say, well, I'm there, but if I look right here, yeah, if I look right here, also from the root directory of the packages, it also manages to find everything. So what else could I do? I could, like in C, if something is in, if a library for instance is in a specific directory other than standard, at this point of the cursor you put another path in it. So what is its path? That's a good one. What is the path name? I don't know. But source devel/setup.bash should set a path name anyway. Let me just try something. This will give an error probably, but I don't care for now. invalid syntax. How about that? I can also say differently, import message robot PI, and of course I mean import. So what about this? Alright, what about if I take number 2? No module, it just can't find it. Which makes things more complicated than they already were, because I have no explanation anywhere why it can't find it, except that one of the explanations says you have to build it. But then again, if I from here say catkin make this is something different. Generate messages. What would that make? Same thing. It does generate messages, but that's all that it does. And just catkin make. Well, we know how that ends up. That says generate messages, and of course with the arrow to end in. So all thinking made no difference, unfortunately. When checking the tutorials once again, I am looking at writing publisher and subscriber in Python, since I am using Python, and it states here very clearly we use CMake as our build system, and yes, you have to use it even for Python nodes, while for Python you normally just save and run. And here it is to make sure that the auto-generated Python code for messages and services, which I don't use yet, is created. So all you have to do is go to your workspace, which I always do, and run catkin make. And I am clearly in my working code, in my working space. And last command is catkin make. And is there any difference how I do it and how they do it? No, just run it. which has not led to any specific difference. And yes, they say generate messages CPP and generate messages Python. Where there's a cat can make, there's a cat can make clean, and I already did that a few times in the previous episode. Won't hurt to do it again. Generating messages py. How well can you be at generating Python from SSG port message robot PI and generating Python from message robot PI2? So it clearly states that it just does its job. And once again here, it is absolutely there, no doubt. And yet it doesn't find it. So if I say here robot PI, in which directory am I anyway? Robot PI, robot message PI, robot. If I am bold enough to do this, what would happen? Most likely a syntax error, yes, because it knows the path to the message. Which makes it all the more strange. I can't get my finger around it. Alright. I extended the drawing. I don't think I showed you already. So these are GPIO 11 and 15, and not the GPIO numbers, but the real pins. So from 12 I have a resistor which leads to the which connects to the little green LED, and let me show you, that is this green LED resistor, and this one connecting to ground. And since this ground is connected here, here and here, this one is connected to ground. Then once again, this big red LED, which is supposed to burn if I shine on the photo-transistor while pressing this button, then this one should go on and off, and that is this one connected to GPIO 18. Now you might wonder why I do not connect or put a resistor in here. Well, I just didn't, and the result is it just works. Though a lot brighter than this one, of course, because of this resistor. Anyway, that is the schematics for now. Remains a big mystery. and I'm determined to solve it, just no clue how. Another idea is what happens if I take these messages out of the coder for now. Here and here. Will that bring any clue to light? I would say yes. Publisher 2 or RaspberryPi is not defined. I didn't expect that one. So if I go to tutorials, and I look at the publisher, I'm talking about the publisher. It publishes and it imports something, and so you have to do something with this. So if I change that into whichever I am supposed to broadcast, apparently this is now completely wrong. Which it wasn't before. So let me take this. Although this goes wrong because message RaspberryPi is not to be found. Yes. Is not defined. Yes. So what is defined? Data. But data is inside a message that is not to be found. So this won't make any difference. That's right. So this has more consequences than just it can't find any data. Oops, not that one. Oh, this by the way is my serial connection to the Raspberry Pi. Logged in. This is where it says I have started virtual network computing. And these messages are from the USB host, where it says I cannot get a frequency look at this address. One of the cameras is a bit old. Anyway, back here. Let's run this again. Yep, same error. So that's then this comment out. This one which also implies that pub2 will not publish. Any other stuff? Not right now. So with this taken out, in theory it should run, but not doing anything I want. A is RaspberryPi. Yeah, that's not defined anymore. Oh, that is a good one. That means that I have to reconsider my whole code. I did not realize that. It is dependent on this one. This worked previously when I had my message called RaspberryPi. And that's where it goes wrong. That is the whole point. Yes, I need to verify that. And I'm getting a little bit more confused than I already was, because going back to an old question of mine which has been answered, they say, and I forgot about that, the import syntax for a single message is from my package.message, import my message, and for all messages in the package, my package.message, import star. So this is also with that same syntax error, no module named. And I did get it working, and moreover, when going to my code, I had here RaspberryPi message, which worked back in the time when I had one single message, RaspberryPi. So I am inclined now to return everything to the old state with only one single message. See if I get everything back into the old state. See if that works, and start again from there, because this is obviously not working out, making things more and more complicated, which is not the intention, of course. So what do I do? First thing is to go to source, and then RaspberryPi, and then message, and then I have to rename. Well, I let these two be how they are. I will just remove them from the other files that look after these. So what I can do is say, alright, RaspberryPi.message into RaspberryPi.message, can't create, yeah, that's right, typo. So now I have this one, and I put both messages being data and data2 of the same type into this one, no, not VO, that doesn't exist. See, it was already there apparently, but anyway, these are those two. Now I have to check on make lists, and that is the last thing I'll do this episode. I think. So I'm looking for Rob and see here. Message 2, and I will insert one line, say robot_pi.msg, and these two I will comment out for now. And then I'll have to act for these two. Delete and go down here. No. Insert here and this one. Rest is for next time. For now, what did I do? Well, a lot of checking, a lot of internet search, like here, and I showed you the schematics of what's going on here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and give thumbs up, like the video. You can also share and whatever. Follow me on Twitter, retweet and like. Follow me on Instagram and like. Please donate to keep the videos coming your way. More information about donation and donating on my website. And this is of course going to be continued. So, bye bye.